Merry Christmas to everyone. We are back. It's been a while. We took a break from the fellowship. We got crushed by Black Friday and Cyber Monday. That's a huge testament to you guys for...
It was for our mental health.
Yes, we took a mental health break after we did nothing but pack orders. It's the holiday season. We've been busy, but we're back. We're very excited to be back, and we sincerely hope everyone is having a wonderful and Merry Christmas season with their loved ones.
I know I am.
Well, I was having a good one until my daughter got let out of school until the new year. And so, got to deal with that now.
Wow, Hawk complaining about his family. Who would have thought?
I kid. I love you, Penelope. Welcome home from school. We're very excited to be back doing this. We've got such an excellent show today. We're actually
let's let the viewers be the judge of that.
Good call. Let's let the viewers decide. However, we do have Ryan Jingle, who's going to introduce us to a brand new cocktail called the Smoking Nog.
And boy, is it smoky.
So stay tuned. He's going to make this drink for you, teach you how to do it, and then we're going to review it with our very...
Merry Christmas!
We will review it with our very special guest. We got a lot of shout-outs to get to today, so...
And to all a good night.
No time like the present. Let's go do this. Let's go enjoy the fellowship.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays?
Sure.
We're gonna see those wires in the shot.
No, I hid them when I decorated the set. Thank you very much. Hey, thanks for being here, man. It's been a while.
Hey, well, you know, it's been hard to get here.
No, it hasn't. You work here. Cheers.
Wow.
This is a really good drink.
Well,
the Smoking
is it really?
Nog. Yeah.
The Smoking Nog.
Yeah.
Let's have a
Passed
little
down
bit
to you by your grandfather when you were just 8 years old.
I think I was 9.
9. My bad.
It's not your bad.
So, how the hell have you been, man? We've been so busy, I feel like we haven't had a chance to just sit down and talk.
You know, I've been great. What a wonderful question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. You look great.
Thank you very much.
Very festive.
I feel great. You look pretty good, too.
Well, I've been losing weight. We've been dieting around here.
Yeah.
And
Did you have a McRib the other day?
Well, someone dropped it off. A customer dropped us off a Mac Rib, my second of the season, your first.
Yeah.
And I believe there was hell to pay in the office.
I felt like crap.
Yeah.
After eating that thing.
Yeah.
Is pork usually gray when it's cooked?
I don't think it normally is.
Yeah, because it was quite gray.
Yeah.
Other than that, the barbecue sauce was tangy and full
Yeah.
of, MSG
Yeah.
and, what's it called? Corn syrup?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High fructose corn syrup.
Fructose.
Yeah.
Now, this is a golf company and a golf show, but lately a different game has taken over the office. The game of darts. We recently just finished our...
Well, it hasn't been much of a game. Huh?
We just finished our 70th game. I added it up. You have won 47 of those games for an outstanding percentage of 67% of the games we play. You win at the dartboard.
I was shooting for 69%, so for me personally, I'm a little upset I didn't get there.
Sure.
But that's not to say that, my opponent, didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
So.
Have you been getting into the spirit recently? I noticed you hung some lights from your house.
Yeah. C9s. If your house doesn't have C9s, are they really Christmas lights at all?
It's a great question.
Ceramic, not these new fucking clear ones. Don't cheap out on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hung those lights. We got the tree going. I actually love Christmas. We watched a couple Christmas flicks last night. Elf.
Yeah.
Not a huge Will Ferrell fan, but man, is that movie good.
It's a great movie.
If the end, when the whole people on TV start singing and stuff,
yeah, and
the sleigh goes over Dad's head and he starts singing, if that doesn't get you.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
you don't have a pulse.
Santa's sleigh was powered on Christmas spirit.
Yeah, so... But yeah, I'm into the Christmas spirit, and I'm really into doing this show some more, but it's fucking hard.
Well, I do want to take a moment to speak about that. You set me up perfectly without even knowing. We have been on a bit of a break. We haven't done an episode since the Nation Derby recap, and that's because we've been very busy around the shop, which is a great problem to have. But also, we would, full disclosure, we're nothing if not honest, we would like to see some more audience participation. Maybe share this show with a friend. Click subscribe. If you're here already, you like what we're doing, so send it to a friend.
What we'd really like to see is some financial participation.
From YouTube?
No, from, we could take like $100,000 on 3 points.
Sure.
Something like that.
Yeah.
If you really want to believe in us. That would really let the hair down, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Yeah, we'll take investors or we'll just take free subscribers, whatever you want to do. Before we bring on our guest, I do want to give a quick shout out to Zachary Manza of Manza Media. He made this beautiful holiday card for us. He drew it up We had hundreds printed. We've been including them in every single order. So place your order before the end of the year. You'll get this beautiful card where he turned you into an ornament and me into an ornament. And he gave me quite the amazing swing.
Yeah, I was going to say, your follow-through has never looked like that.
Well, no, but life imitates art, does it not? And I'm playing tomorrow, so hopefully I can get a full turn.
Why don't you put that silly, stupid hat on before our guest gets on?
You know what? Maybe as we loosen up with these smoking nogs, I'll get to the hat. But thank you, Zachary.
How do you like your smoking nog, by the way?
It's amazing. I love it. I also like your take on the upside-down candy cane turns into a golf club.
Well, it's a nice cheeky touch.
Yeah, it is a nice cheeky touch. So
let's get into the goddamn thing, Adam.
Let's bring on our guest. He is the voice of Drift. He is a TV host. He is a master of ceremonies. He is a brand ambassador for
another gentleman that's out of our league.
He is a brand ambassador for Harley Davidson, Hot Wheels, Nitro Rallycross, Ford, Snap-on Tools, and many others. He is a husband, a father to 2 boys, a mid-century homeowner.
I'm gonna sit back down.
He is your favorite person's favorite person. Ladies and gentlemen.
Is there gonna be a quiz on this later?
Mr. Jarod DeAnda. Jarod, thank you so much.
Dude, happy holidays, boys.
Thanks for being here.
Oh my God,
Appreciate
I feel way underdressed.
No, you look
You
great.
look fantastic.
I like the holiday spooner.
Thank you. Yeah,
if you wanted to. Oh, another shout out. We got it. We didn't have enough time to search his Instagram handle. We might put it in the edit if we can find it. But a gentleman tipped us off with these custom. He takes Scotch glasses and he makes them into ashtrays.
Yes.
Pretty bitchy.
And if you get a bar fight, that's a weapon.
Yeah,
that is a solid weapon.
Absolutely.
Don't leave that in your carry-on.
You guys want to see a dead body? What are you? Oh, nice, Kuba.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a little cutter?
Yeah, we do.
Let's get after it right
here.
there.
There you go.
Just let that out on the floor. We'll vacuum later.
Jarod, thanks for being here. We made you a smoking nog.
Okay. Does this have dairy in it?
It does.
Yes.
Well, great. I see there's a restroom right over there. Can't wait to partake.
You have a beeline right
Cheers,
there.
brother.
Cheers.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, hey, well,
Merry Christmas, Feliz
Merry
Navidad.
Christmas to you.
I'm hoping you do one thing
Christmas
after you sip this. We'll see if you do.
Mm-hmm.
The first sip is always the smokiest.
That was great.
No Howl? You're not going to
No.
You're not
Yeah, smoking nog wolf.
Yeah.
That is what I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are going to teen wolf later.
Dude, so good.
You know, Jarod does this thing
This is my wave.
called Howlin' at the Beers.
Yes, sir.
Which I love on Instagram. It's a great little segment where you review beers and you howl at the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you do it, but I absolutely love watching.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Where did that idea come from?
Again, you kind of great intro, by the way. I mean, gosh,
Well,
so,
he's in the business.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
not.
Yeah,
was in the business.
I'm the most humble person I know. Just
I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, I travel all over the world. Yeah. I eat local. I drink local. I get tattooed local. Mm-hmm. So my whole rub is like, yo, let's drink some local beers and then howl at the beers and figure out, because I have kind of a little trinity here. If you go to a local eatery, you land anywhere, say Louisville, Kentucky. You go drink at a local haunt, like a cool bar. Hey, where do you get tattooed? Where do you eat? Mm-hmm. You go to like a cool small eatery. Where do you get tattooed? Where do you drink? Go to a tattoo spot. You're getting zapped on, right? We're all tatted up.
That's how you meet good people,
right? And that's what it's about. And that's bringing the whole first circle. And we just started this damn interview is like that's how golf is.
Totally.
Hey man, where would you go? What do you do? Who do you hang out with?
Right.
Yeah.
Who's your circle?
Right.
But howling at the beers is basically like drinking local and supporting local.
That's cool.
And also supporting homies like you're like our homie Indie Brewing.
Right, great shout out.
Yeah.
It's funny, I texted a lot of people before you came down. I texted Morgan Keller, he is the head brewer of Indy. He made Swing Lube for us. I texted Caleb Cox, he's the crew chief for Cruz Pedregon. And I texted Young Bowski, who's a friend of yours. And as I mentioned in the intro, you are my favorite people's favorite person. They
sweet.
were very excited that you would be on the show. They're like, you're going to hit it off. The common theme when I talk to these people is Jarod is a connector of people and just a super genuine, nice guy. That has to go a long way in your business. You've been doing this since 2004.
Yeah.
The voice and face of many motorsports, specifically drift. So how did that happen? You went from street racing in the 90s to motorsport, commentating in 2004 and still doing it. How did that all happen?
Yeah, I grew up, was born in Northern California. My parents divorced when I was in second grade, moved to San Diego. Fast forward, my car kind of experience started in 1995, and I went to Poway High School.
Shout out to the Titans.
And we got it. We found this out. We found it. I know exactly.
Yeah.
You go ahead and grab a seat over
I know,
there,
right?
Ryan.
Yeah. This episode, the car, the Poway, the tattoos and stuff. I'll be over here, guys.
No, but I think everybody can relate to this. So I grew up street racing in San Diego, and I'll just admit my age. You can look it up. I'm 43 years old, and grew up street racing and had a Civic, and that was kind of my gateway drug, baby. Like, and then it got me going. But as far as my career, announcing 18 years now, here in 2021, culmination of a season. In 04, my buddies Ryan Sage and Jim Lau started a series called Formula Drift, and they're like, "Hey, you're charismatic. Why don't you try this?" Here I am 18 years later, and then I've parlayed it into
How fast did those 18 years go by?
Holy crap. I mean, my career can officially shoot a gun through a ballot, can smoke a cigarette, go to a strip club.
Isn't that amazing?
That doesn't serve alcohol.
That's amazing to think about.
They
go by so fast.
It's really profound.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely blessed to I work with all my friends, and again, the resume of companies I'm really proud to work with. All the meanwhile, just making memories, and again, my body's a passport. So wherever I travel, I got tattoos from all over the world, man.
Rad.
Yeah.
That's
I love that take. I've heard you in other interviews say that your tattoos are a passport to where you've been, and not just where you've been, but when you were there.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about tattoos is the time that you get them in your life represents something, and you might not be as into it 10 years later as you are, but it's definitely a reminder of a special time in your life, which is great. And I love that outlook. Thanks. I'm fairly tattooed as well.
Yeah.
I would like to do what you do.
Should we take our shirts off just to show what we're working with?
That'll be the after show.
Hey,
once my body.
Hey, when the Patreon dollars start streaming in,
yes.
Click, smash that subscribe and
go
like
ahead,
button.
smash away that subscribe button. Sorry.
I'm fairly monogamous when it comes to tattooing. We have a good friend, Matty Higgins. He's down in Port City, Santa Ana.
Oh, yeah.
I met him through a radio show bit that I was doing. He started out doing one tattoo on me for TV, and he's done it 14 times for me.
Really?
He models our golf clothes. He's a great dude.
Oh, okay.
I have a question for you, Hawk.
Yeah.
Could you please get this gentleman a lighter for crying?
Yeah,
it's
I absolutely
good.
can.
I appreciate that.
I mean, I'm supposed to host here.
Director or something like
we don't have one.
Nick, how do we not have a lighter on our table?
It's all good.
Well, it's not all good.
Well,
I'd go for it.
I'll get one.
Maybe on top of the file cabinet.
Ryan's got it. Make yourself useful, Ryan. Thank you. Okay. I feel like you have. Oh, I actually did see one on the ground over there. I was gonna do it. I feel like I'm ready to. When I come back next, I'm gonna get you a nice little marble table liner.
Dude, I have a couple at my house. The problem is...
At your house.
At my house.
Yeah, there's that.
I do. The problem is it's so hard to find the flint... It's so hard to find the flint replacements. And I hate... Like, some of them are really nice, but others get leaky over the years. And once they start getting leaky, it's like...
Done.
This is kind of a hazard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, man, the idea of it... And so... I was on the Google the other night going, there's got to be someone who makes a modern version of one that still looks cool. There isn't. So there's a market for you, Make some hip table lighters that have a butane torch. Game over.
That
2022 lineup, Nation Golf.
The
That's what I'm
Smoking Tom table lighter.
Oh gosh, with the.
All right, edit that out. We don't want anyone to take our idea.
Yeah.
There you go.
You heard us, Macklemore. Don't rip us off.
Oh gosh.
There it was, man. Hawk, you could just read Hawk like a fucking book.
Yeah, that was coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
I've been waiting weeks to get
Have
that
you?
one.
Yeah. So you don't think it's progressed the brand at all? You don't think his presence?
Honestly, I was thinking about it the other day. Macklemore and I are both from Seattle. We both share the common interest of golf. I don't necessarily know that he's progressed it because I think he's making clothes for himself.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's any sort of mass appeal to like $140 faux vintage cardigans that are leopard print. I think he's really narrowed down, but that's fine. I mean, that's the angle that he's going for. And you could call me a hater, and sure, maybe I am, but hey, we're honest on this show.
I think. Well, I said this to my buddy the other day. I was on another podcast. Is car based. We hardly talked about cars. So here we're talking about fashion on a golf podcast, but is it truly golf? We're talking about lifestyle and function and what the deal is. You're not a hater. You're speaking authenticity. So anybody who's watching this wants to hear authenticity. They don't want to hear fucking fluff bullshit. Right. So
he's okay.
Yeah. So my knee jerk reaction is. Does he progress it? Potentially. Is it dialed in? No. Is there a little bit of fallacy in regards to the brand and what's going on? Yes. Because I did order like a couple things. Not my size. I ordered double X. I'm a big big tall, milkshake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it brings all the boys to the yard.
Yes.
But didn't fit. You know what I mean? So like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and he makes his living with his words, and as corny as they are, it's still his profession. And I think if you're a rapper, you could do better than a lame golf alliteration, Bogey Boys, for the name of your brand. It would have taken all of about a day or two to come up with anything better than that.
Wow.
That was a really hot take.
You're an angry elf. Weird. I heard you guys talking about elf and just all this, but I like it though because I think that comes from a very genuine place.
Yes. My thing with all of it is like, whatever. Everyone like,
there's enough room.
Secure your bag. Do whatever the fuck you want. It's cool. That obviously gives me the right to make fun of it.
Right.
You know? Do I really care? I don't.
Right.
But it's fun to have stuff to make fun of. Mm-hmm. That being said, being in Southern California, we're all kind of in tune with it. This whole streetwear thing, where it's like, basically came from the skate kind of world,
Yeah.
And there's all these brands making this like fashion forward street kind of stuff that touches on it. My problem with all of it, and I would say Bogey Boys falls into that in the golf branch of it.
Yep.
That and a number of others, I won't name them. The problem with it is it's like, okay, here's a street brand. Their whole thing is like, grow the game and expand the reach, this and that. And it's like, here's a basic polo for $120.
Right.
And it's like, okay, bud. You know what I mean? Like, here's a $500 golf brand. Here's a collab with this brand, and it's going to be it's like the Supreme, basically, encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And it's like that's cool. There's going to be a small number of people who eat it up, and like the whole hype beast thing. But for me, it's just like, man, that's just chasing. That's the clickbait stuff, and it's like, I'm into the timeless stuff. I keep going backwards, I'm trying to find the most like grassroots country band to listen to.
I like that. I think that's
like,
cool. So let me kind of, again, I'm a host, so I have to. So who do you admire kind of in the modern golf space? Because I would say, back in the day, I remember wearing Ashworth as a kid because growing up in San Diego, going to Poway High, we would go to my mom and I because it was just my mom and I. My brother moved back up to Northern California. We'd go to the Ashworth factory warehouse sales, and I would get polos for $10. And I wore Ashworth because that's what it was. In hindsight, it was not cool, Ashworth. Now you're like, and then Freddie. I remember I was at Poway High School.
Freddie made Ashworth cool.
In fact, I did a hindsight's 2020. Yeah. Mr. Reese's class.
Can I interject for 2 seconds?
Yes, please.
Sorry. Hindsight, I believe, is better than 2020. 2020 is average vision. Hindsight is at least 2015, maybe 2010. It's
I wear contacts regardless. I wear contacts. I'm blind as a bat if I don't have contacts.
Very good. Sorry to interrupt.
No, please do. I feel like this is one of the coolest podcasts I've ever been on.
Thank you.
No bullshit. I told a couple people I'm going. I said, dude, you have to come. You have to watch this podcast.
Yeah.
I love the set. It's just got a vibe.
We ash on the table here.
He's got. I mean, I never went to college, so I guess I'm living my college years right now with the wood walls.
I want to be good. I want to learn good.
Yeah.
I dropped out of Palomar Junior College because I didn't want to get my civic door ding. Yeah, you're burning your own couch.
You know what? That shit'll buff out.
So Ashworth was not cool, but then in hindsight, Freddie made it cool. Mr. Reese's class, Poway High School, I did a glass etching of Freddie Couples.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it just crazy. But he always did have the smooth stroke. But you know what? Live your brand, do your brand. People read through it.
Sure,
and that's the beauty, and that's what I love about even just this. Like, here we are at your nation headquarters, and come to find out about you and your lineage of surfing, and Adam and his history of working with top tier sports hosts and all this stuff. I think you're a total of all your influences.
Oh yeah,
and that's what's up. And that's me included. That's whoever's behind the camera, front of the camera, all part of the equation, bro.
Yeah,
and that's what I love.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And to answer your question, a brand that I think is doing it really, really well in our space, Metalwood Studios, our friend Cole Young, his aesthetic and his style is so on point. We absolutely had a blast having him down here and just picking his brain.
Fucking can't, I felt I was doing him a disservice because shout out to the Calamari Airlines boys. Like, he's part of Team Mari, and there's a whole derelict group that's behind in the shadows. That's Team Mari.
Great.
And Cole is styles from miles, bro. Like his garb, you just can't even look at him, right? It's like a mix between Fergie and Jesus.
Well, it's cool because
Fergie and Jesus. I like
what I love about his whole take is he actually is going for the most horrible stuff that was worn in the early 90s, and he's making it his own kind of thing. And And although he is kind of touching in that same streetwear kind of umbrella thing, the way in which he's doing it is so true to the game. And I think me, at that moment in time, historically, is when I truly first fell in love with the game. You know, like as a thing where it's like, I knew I was going to play golf for the rest of my life, you know. And so to see him, like, you know, revisit a lot of those looks is pretty awesome. I'm a big fan of his. And him and I were just sharing some messages today on the phone. Cool. I won't spill the beans, but he shared a picture with me of someone pretty radical in a new little capsule. Yeah. And it was at a place that my grandfather was a founding member out in the desert.
Awesome.
And so I was sharing some old pictures or old stories of him. And I used to pick up Hal Sutton's former caddy and go to the course and meet my grandpa. And I was there in '96 when they first opened this course, the Plantation. And, you know, it was like no women, no cell phones, like old boys club, you know, like. And, man, we had some just great memories there. And it was a Freddie Couples design course. And, but yeah, he's got something coming out that's like, I mean, I was so genuinely happy for him to see him. Like it was just, I told him, I think word for word was like, hey, dude, no matter what you do from here, you could put on two left feet.
Did you tell me
whatever? I just said no matter what you do from here, no matter what you do from here, you just fucking made it. Dude.
That's cool.
You know, and that's just awesome, you know.
I mean, you guys are historians. I mean, look, you know, he's in a different era, different genre, or not different genre, but just a different time capsule. That moment in time, you're definitely of that mid-century 50s, 60s esque. He's in that 90s Quan.
Yep.
And everything's regurgitated. If you look at fashion and stuff,
totally.
And you know, I mean, here we are in San Clemente, and I remember going up to here to Foursquare and Forum, and my buddies were designers up there, then you know, come around here because again, growing up in San Diego, I worked with Aliasha Workamore down at Alphanumeric, and you know, I cut my teeth down in San Diego going to ASR as a kid.
Totally.
You know, I used to dumpster dive, going to Mambo and like No Fear and all these other places and getting skateboards over at Zorlak. Dude, sweet. I mean, I'm a you know, San Diego kid, but I'm a big building in the skyline. They fall a lot harder, man, when they fall. So, but.
You know, Ryan mentioned, and it's well documented around here, that his grandfather had the biggest influence on him playing golf, and you share that as well. Can you tell us about your grandfather and how he got you into the game?
Man, yeah, most definitely. My grandpa just passed away, not just this last March. We put him to rest down in Miramar. Wow. He was. What's really cool. Salud.
Yeah, I can't cheers an empty glass, but two.
Yes. Lieutenant.
I'll fill yours up soon. You want a sip of mine?
You want to baby bird it too?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Colonel Ralph F. Kling, my grandpa, twin brother. He is one of 5 brothers, and he just passed away. But my grandpa, how this correlates to golf, I'll just fast track to that. He taught me how to golf.
Yeah.
I grew up playing at San Vicente Country Estates in Ramona, California.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's up in the hills in Ramona. And they live just down the road on Pappas Road. Built a really cool custom house, and gosh, I wonder who's in that house now. But my grandpa,
Easter's, Thanksgivings, was that the spot?
But I grew up down the hill in Poway, so we'd go up there.
Oh, so you were there all the time?
Yeah, I'd go up there quite a bit, and little did I know, like that kind of foreshadowing and what's going on, right? And just that influence, similar to even my kids. And yeah, we'll get to that. But my grandpa was a World War II fighter pilot. Fought in World War II. He got shot down over Stalingrad.
Wow.
Or got shot over Germany. He was a POW at Stalingrad II, where the Great Escape happened. When he was a prisoner, the Great Escape happened. But when he got there, they were still taking bedboards. 4 tunnels. They were still building more tunnels for another Great Escape. And then 5 to 6 months later, the war was over. They surrendered prisoners. My grandma and grandpa were married 76 years until his passing. So he's buried at down in Miramar on now the Marine base, which was formerly Naval Air Station Miramar. But he was vice commander, and he helped build and raise money and funding to build where his final resting place is. My grandma's currently at our house right now, staying with us while my mom and aunt.
She's still alive.
Yeah, my grandma's 95.
What a blessing.
Yeah, so his plane is on my arm. He flew a plane called Poppy. It's a P-47 Thunderbolt.
Wow.
Just a fucking legend, bro. My grandpa's the most significant male in my life, and he rest in peace, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph F. Kling.
They don't build them like that anymore.
Fucking legend. And he taught me how to golf, man. And he was persistent and patient. He let me go play whack fuck and just whack around and San Vicente. I have not played it probably since since I was in high school, because they moved. They still live in Ramona. My mom, my aunt, and my grandma all live together in Ramona, California, right near Mount Woodson. So if you ever played Mount Woodson, that track's have you ever played there?
No, I have not.
I played Mount Woodson.
That's a Target Golf. It's freaking T-box, chaparral, or greens.
She's narrow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my grandpa played a massive role in my life. So
that's awesome.
And I think, all of us can relate to just that history and the homage and the respect, which I think you guys really embody. I think there's just this, I watched the Nation Derby. You guys rapped out about just kind of this. I like the analogy I think you said, or I can't remember, one of you guys said about it's kind of like Vegas. You go there. You just kind of shut it off, or you just turn up.
You get the hell out after 48 hours because then the good times start to turn into really weird times. And
the best view of that island is from the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing on Catalina Island. It's bad country. What the shit?
Speaking of family, I think what's really cool is how much you integrate your kids into what you're doing. You have two boys.
Yep.
Parker and T-Bone. You play golf with your son.
I do.
And your oldest son. That has to be an amazing treat to go out and play with your son.
Yeah, I wish I had the patience that my grandpa did, because I know my son could be made for more, but he's growing an inch every day right now.
Wow.
But my son, we live down in Riverside, California.
In a beautiful
mid-century modern house.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. It needs work, but built in 1956, post-beam construction. Work is great. Work? I don't know, man. These are very soft hands. I just announce for a living. I just talk about it. I don't be about it.
I know, but it's fun. You get to you put your thumbprint on stuff. You know.
You know what? That's a great vantage point. I would just say we're stewards of the house. Yeah. We're the fifth owners of it, and we're walking distance from a country club, and I never thought in a million years we would join a frickin' country club. And here we are. And playing golf with my oldest son. He's on the high school team. He lettered in it, so he's got a letterman's jacket with golf on it, and which is cool.
That's bitchin'.
And Poly Riverside's one of the oldest high schools in Southern California. A lot of lineage there. Reggie Miller and his sister, Bobby Bonds, and a lot of people. So playing golf with my kids and my wife. So we're all members there, and notably, we joined this country club called the Vic, and I've invited you guys out there when we find time, when it all works out, because I know obviously you got a freshie baby child I'm talking about. But we'd love to have you guys out there, and established in 1903. Great history, but my wife, notably, we joined in February. We joined on Tuesday. She played the club for the first time on a Friday. Brand new clubs. Plays it for the first time. She gets a hole-in-one on 13.
No way.
Holy shit.
No way. Was it cheap, or was it a good
7-iron.
Wow.
I wasn't even there. I was out to lunch with my buddy Steven. Shout out to him. He loves your brand, by the way.
Golf's easy.
Yeah. She played in high school.
Okay, she knows how to play.
It's not like, oh my gosh. Like, what is
Still,
this?
that doesn't put the nail in the coffin that, hey, I think we joined the right club.
Yeah, so I'm the tattooed, Jason Momoa fat cousin, right? And then she's hole-in-one girl, which is a terrible nickname around the clubhouse.
Yeah.
But all joking aside, how cool is that?
That's unbelievable.
So we're just like quickly. We did admittedly like a golf preview for 3 months, see if we like it. It was just a easy access to find out what's going on, and then now we're equity members, and it's a tremendous responsibility again of paying respect of the current members and us being stewards of it as well. But quickly, she's on the membership committee. My buddy owns a brewery called Evans Brewing, which is down the freeway from there. Sweet. And we brewed our own beer, and it's called the Vic. And we got a hazy pale ale and a blonde, and I got cool beer there, and it's a vibe, man.
That's
it's a vibe, because I've had Bowski out there. I've had Matt Cardis of Golf in Your State. I've had Matt Myers from Adidas Golf. I've had. So many homies out there. And, it's
That's
cool.
Awesome.
Can't wait for you guys, because you'll love it. The carpet has the crest on it. It's a step back in time, and then especially like we're around the corner, baby.
That.
Yeah. Are you crying? Are you crying right now? Are you crying?
I could be. I mean, that stuff is just that old world Americana, just club pride of ownership. Like, you want to come here and cut loose and have fun, but also, it's a club, so you kind of have to like tighten your screws a little bit and show some respect to the guys, and like there's just this fine line, and I just love it. I think that atmosphere truly brings out the best in people if they're looking for the right things.
And
right?
I've played your Nation Cup. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I've played your tournament out at Indian Wells, and I brought the Indian Wells Nation shirt. I did buy it. I was going to do this, but I felt
I saw you wear that the other day. I was pretty stoked on
cool.
that.
Thank you. It's nice. It looks good, and
Yeah.
again, I can't wait to. It's a vibe, man. I've had multiple different people out to my house because again, it being so close.
Yep.
It's an experience. It's an immersive, cool thing.
Yeah.
I will say that I do love the respect. Even with Bowski coming out here, here's his champion shorts and all that. And again, all the Calamari homies, shout out to them.
Yep.
Gordo and Kyle and again, I want to shout out those guys later. But bringing them out there, you just got to play by the games, and it's more punk rock to play by the rules. And
I think so.
And just abide. But also, I'll tell you what, all the, not naming names, but all the gray hairs and all like the older cats. They want to be 25 eternally too. Not saying I'm 25, but guess what, baby? Put on that Bushnell Wingman. Yeah. That thing's great. $150, great influence. There you go.
Yeah.
Bushnell, get involved. Yeah, Here we go. We're talking about the fellowship. Bushnell, step
come
up.
on in.
Yeah.
The water's nice.
Yeah, exactly. But all the older cats want to party too.
Oh, dude.
So
Totally.
the youth is absolutely accepting because it's just like a brand like Hot Wheels that I work with. Is like. They figured it out now. It's like they, at one point, kids would play with Hot Wheels. They'd figure out a skateboard. They'd figure out a car. They'd be gone from the brand. They'd eventually come back when they're a little older, like, I remember those. No, now it's absolutely, it's a nice plateau of engaging with the Hot Wheels brand.
Yeah.
So I think it's something to be said about just keeping it consistent, keeping it youthful.
No doubt.
We
are going to top off our beverages, and
take a small
while we
commercial
do
break.
that, Ryan Engel, aka Ryan Jingle, is going to teach you how to make the smoking nog.
Merry Christmas, everybody! This is the Engel traditional eggnog that we like to call the smoking nog. So, basically what you want to start with, get your shaker out with some ice in it, and you're going to want to start with a blended scotch, My grandma used to keep this in the cupboard to clean the paint off the walls. It's a really good, useful household item. So you take this scotch, and we're gonna make 2 here, so give that about 1.5 ounces for each drink, that is. And, since it's the holiday season, you just put a little extra in there, what I mean? And then, always make sure. Oh, that's some good nog. I want to shout out to Crudzen, Season's Greeting. It says the very best, so we're gonna put that to the test. And this is a simple half and half recipe. So I like to measure it just to make sure it's somewhat in there, you know what I mean? And once you spill that shit all over the place, you're gonna want to close that shit up, Shake it real good. Because if your eggnog isn't frothy on the top, what in God's name are you drinking anyways? Give it a good shaking. And remember, shaken, not stirred. Fill that up to a nice frothy level. And make sure your friend gets about the same as you. Done with that, a little ground nutmeg and ground cinnamon right on top. Here's the killer, Lafroig. You're gonna want to find the smokiest Islay whiskey you can find. And what you do with it is you give it a nice smoky Islay floater right on top. And in tradition, for being the golf brand we are, we garnish that with a candy cane upside down to swing away and let your holidays be filled with Christmas cheer. The smoking nog.
And we are back after a top off of the smoking nog.
Smoking nog
Hope
coming
you all
at
learned
you.
something. Pretty
Wow.
amazing that you were shown this drink as a 9-year-old, and that it knocked you out on Christmas Eve so you could get to sleep for Santa to come. That's a heady play by your grandpa, TK like.
Well, you know, back in the day, things were a little more loose, as they say.
Well, so with an aspiring young, angle in the mix, when are you gonna have him step up to the bar. What do you think? What's the age? What's the range?
Well, Palmer, my daughter, is 9 months now. If it were up to me, when she was fussy and stuff, I'd be rubbing whiskey on her gums already.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any harm in that.
Did your wife drink Guinness when she was pregnant too?
No, but yeah, we follow the rules for the most part, But I don't want to be a stiff parent. I want my kid to experience all of it, and I feel like the more you shelter them from the shit, the more they're gonna want to fucking do it anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
True.
For sure.
Hey, no pun intended. I'm going to steer this conversation back into motorsports because we talked about golf, we talked about life, we talked about family.
Thanks for making me feel included for a second.
But you are, can I say royalty in the motorsports
That's a
world?
large exaggeration.
Okay, so I'll say royalty.
Okay.
You're royalty in motorsports. I know that this isn't necessarily where you live, F1, but...
No.
Something has happened in America after the Netflix Drive to Survive series came out, and there is a F1 fever pitch that's at 1 million decibels. The best way I can sell it to people is that women are legitimately waking up on the West Coast at 5 in the morning to watch foreign drivers drive race cars in a sport that none of us really understand, but we think we do because we watched 3 seasons of Netflix. And this current season, which just concluded on Sunday, had one of the most fantastic, dramatic endings of all time.
Tumultuous.
Tumultuous, controversial, still being protested. What's interesting is both of the drivers involved, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, which is interesting. On your Instagram, you've got pictures with everybody, with Gronk, with Tony Hawk, but you've got pictures with Lewis Hamilton, who is regarded as the best to ever do it, a 7-time champion. He was poised to win his 8th. There was a extremely controversial ruling behind a safety car, and I know this sounds like a foreign language.
What's the question, Adam?
To anyone that didn't watch
Netflix.
Netflix.
Damn it, bro. Get to it.
I don't even know where we're going right now.
I love this. I love how emphatic he is about motorsports. Did you know this?
I knew recently that he just got into the F1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We're gonna stiff arm this conversation.
I'll be over here.
Okay,
What is your take on how that ended? Is it a complete farce and is it complete bullshit, or did Max Verstappen deserve to get behind Lewis Hamilton, and should they have ended the championship under a racing lap instead of behind a safety car?
My knee-jerk reaction was that similar to I announced Formula Drift. I also announced Nitro Rallycross. It happened at Nitro Rallycross in the 5th round of our championship. Travis Pastrana and Scott Speed, they both race for Subaru. There's another dude, Kevin Hansen, who races. He's European, he's Swiss. Long story short, there was a big scrum. Applying that to F1, it's a culmination of a season. It's not just one lap. It's not just one race. So it's just like saying somebody snaked somebody on a wave, or somebody dropped in on this bull, or they bailed this one trick. Or they shanked this one shot.
Yeah.
Talking about golf. There's moving day, there's 3 days, execute.
Yep.
When you are consistent through those 3 days, or consistent through a whole season, like a John Rahm or somebody like that, game, respect game.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, it was their season, right? There's other spectators that are, aka their peers, that are watching them fight it out. I'm glad to see somebody challenge Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
He's going to go down as the GOAT, which is great. Here's a British, he's black, he's in a predominantly white motorsport.
All white,
it's all white. So I like the juxtaposition of it all.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen, he's as white as they get. And, somebody said, jokingly, they're like, because I don't know if you know, but last year when Lewis won, there was a bunch of hatred.
Oh, I'm sure.
And there was some real racist remarks, which is really shitty. Max winning just challenges the norm, which is good. Lewis Hamilton was a class act. FIA has they reviewed everything, all this stuff. I think Max winning it was a culmination of a whole thing. It was a culmination of a whole season. And some things will be changed. And I always say this even in my Formula Drift Championship and this whole series. Rules adapt and change because of scenarios that happen. And addendums happen, but you might not know that they happen. And that happens in any sport. If it's horse racing or boxing or motorsport or golf. So I'm okay with the outcome. I think Max Verstappen is a weapon.
Yeah.
Everybody's known that. Even when Daniel Ricciardo was on the team, that's why Daniel stepped down, because he knew Max was like, the great Danish hope. Yep. Daniel switched over to McLaren. Danny's the coolest dude in F1, Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, of course, the honey badger.
Yeah, he's the honey badger, and he's down. All good, always. And he's a G. I gave you guys some limited edition coffee mugs that are only 48 in the world that my buddy Nico, a.k.a. Ornamental Conifer, created the graphic for it. He paints Daniel's helmets.
So cool.
Just name drop there. But
I love it. Name drop away.
Formula One is it's on time. And, Formula One got bought by an American entity. And that's exactly why Drive to Survive came to be. And it's great timing. My buddies at Race Service, who have an agency up in LA, they do a lot of creative content for them. There's going to be 2 races here in the States in 2022.
Miami and Texas.
And COTA.
What's COTA? Is that Austin?
Circuit of the Americas, aka Austin.
Okay.
So Circuit of the Americas is the circuit.
Are you going to Miami?
I'm not. I have a conflict.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would absolutely 100,000% be there.
That
but
seems like it's going to be the greatest party of all time.
It'll be great. They say Miami. It's a little outside of Miami. It's still Florida.
Well,
It's just called Florida. Everyone's like Miami. You're like, Orlando and Tampa is not really Miami, but regardless.
Okay.
Moving on.
But they're racing around the Hard Rock Casino, right? So it's gonna
Hard
be a
Rock
spectacle.
Stadium.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah, the stadium.
Yeah. It's
Dan Marino Way and all that.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
it'll be dope.
Yeah. That's going to be great. So when Drive to Survive came out, what made it so perfect and why it captured everyone's imaginations is because not only was it a sports show for guys, it was a reality show for women, it was a travel show for both men and women, and so you got to see like Monaco and all these places you could never dream of going.
Yep.
And so it's checking every single possible box that could interest every single possible demographic, and all of a sudden you're hanging on to like every pit stop with your wife on the couch who's equally hanging on to pit stops, and you're picking favorite drivers and you're getting invested, and now these guys like Daniel Ricciardo have commercials in America, which is insane. So my question to you would be, do you guys in Formula Drift sit around and go, I hope we get a Drive to Survive, or we should do something like this? Because Formula One, I'm just going to say it, would not be what it is in America without that television show. That television show is solely the vehicle for why it's big. So if you guys had a TV show as compelling as that, could you guys not get elevated to the next level?
I think it's just timing with anything. If it's with Nation Golf or any brand, it's all about timing and execution. You can't present something unless you're willing to fulfill it. Say Nation Golf blows up and all this stuff. Okay, well, you grow this entity and you need to be able to have the workers to facilitate it. It was great timing for Formula One. With Formula Drift, we're a niche motorsport. We're freestyle motocross, because you could say, I'm going to go see this freestyle motocross demo at Del Mar Fairgrounds, right, or Orange County Fair. That freestyle motocross demo is the same thing, freestyle moto, at Nitro Circus or X Games. That's still freestyle moto. There's no degree there. With Formula Drift, we're the premier international drifting sanction body, and coincidentally, actually, it was announced at SEMA that we're working on a reality show.
Cool.
But
I'm sure you'll be involved.
Yeah, no, most definitely, and I'm known as a voice of drift, and I've helped a lot of these dudes develop their careers and all that stuff, and I'm jack of all trades, master of none. But I think it's all about timing.
Yeah.
And meeting people where they're at and making sure that you can facilitate and follow through.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be a one-hit wonder. Once you go and get up there,
Yeah.
you have to consistently, it's just like the podcast or just like a brand, you have to consistently be up there.
Totally.
And stay elevated on that plateau, at least up there. If you fall off, people are watching. And they're like, told you.
Yeah.
It's all work.
It's work.
It is work.
But it's a
all
blessing, get a little boost, but
Yeah.
that's when you strap your pants on and you got to get to work.
Yep.
One thing about motorsports, from an outsider looking in, is, and I don't mean to just sound like I'm out of school or like, a noob or like, wet blanket, but it's fucking dangerous. And like these guys, like they show up and for what they want to do for a living and what they love to do, they're like putting their life on the line and everything. So is there like a feeling when you show up to the track or show up to an event like, okay, like this is fun, this is everything we're here for, we're all buddies, we're all friends, we all have families and everything, but there is this, thin line of like shit could go really bad at any given time? Because, in F1, it happened last year, and it happens in NASCAR and everything. And I bring it up because you're in motorsports, but it's like, that's the one sport where it's like, there's always like the ultimate kind of looming in the background.
Right. Was it Hemingway that says like there's only 2 real motorsports or 3? Is it boxing and motorsports or boxing and horse racing or something like that? Yeah. Go and look it up. You guys do that.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence. We'll wait. something in regards to that. But motorsports is absolutely, the trouble that looms. And I don't like to say like, if it is somebody like Paul Walker, if it is like my homegirl Jessie Combs, who died, broke the record of land speed record, 356. Don't look it up. Jessie Combs, a great friend of mine, she passed away on the salt flats up in the Pacific Northwest. Failure on the vehicle. She died tragically. I hate people saying like, "Oh, she died doing what she loved." No, fuck that. I wish she lived doing what she loved.
Yeah. Right.
That is always the reapers in the room.
Right.
In regards to motorsports, it's the risk, but that's why there's modern safety equipment. Mm-hmm. There's more technology in Formula One than there is in NASA. Yeah. Let's be quite honest. And they're using like unobtainium materials. Yeah. They're using even wood. They're using natural materials. They're using all these things, right? When it comes to motorsports, it's a calculated risk, just like anything, just like a business, right? Yeah. So, and you entrust people, and it's a cool thing. Yeah. I'm proud of my role in it, and I'm proud to know some of the most talented motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
If it's the drifters, if it's rallycross racers, and even Ken Block or Bucky Lassick or all these other cats, and that's my role. Kind of switching gears here in regards to like my role in the whole deal is I'm friends and acquaintances with some of the most talented people in the world. I'll just stick to announcing, because guess what? It's a lot safer and cheaper.
Yeah, totally.
And everybody's like, man, you golf a lot. I was like, you know what? It's a lot safer and cheaper, and guess what? Because I can.
Yes.
So.
Right.
I've got a motorsports question.
Yeah, please.
Just a guy here on the end enjoying the show.
Go.
How is the show going?
The show's been great. I feel like I'm watching it for the first time.
Yeah. The laugh tracks were amazing. Thank you so much, Ryan.
I had a couple good points, Tell me that you've experienced this growing up in Southern California, because God knows I have.
Yeah.
Rainy night.
Yep.
You hop in your family, your mother's front-wheel drive vehicle, and you go to the nearest McDonald's parking lot.
Yeah.
And you go inside and you grab 2 of the brown trays, and you back the back tires up on the brown trays, and you pull the e-brake and you floor it and laugh until you pee your pants.
Fact.
That might be the beginning.
Not even a rainy day.
Yeah. Raining makes it a lot of fun. Yeah. And the reason why we would do it in the rain is because usually McDonald's was empty. You know what I mean? Like the parking lot. And we would do it at the Dana Point McDonald's growing up. Me and a good friend, Eric, his mom had a really nice Honda Accord with a V6. That was dangerous. And man, we nearly died a million times, and I don't think I've laughed to this day as hard as I've laughed in that vehicle.
Good. And that's what there's when I've announced Formula Drift over the 18 years. I said, drifting, you might have done in your high school parking lot, when it's totally empty, or you did in the Midwest before you put in your snow tires. But also, coincidentally, I'm just going to plug another podcast that I did recently, The Smoking Tire, my buddy Matt Farah. I went to his office the other day, and he's got a beautiful office. He built this West Coast car storage facility down in Culver City. It's across from Clipper Stadium, and just a beautiful facility. I walk in his office, and he has a burnt lunch tray. And it's a red lunch tray.
He posted this,
I posted it. And it's signed by Bob Bondurant, which Bob Bondurant is an American Formula One. He's one of the only American Formula One champions.
Wow.
And him and I were at that shoot, and because I used to live in Arizona, my wife and kids and I, we were out there, and I'm rendezvoused with him, and then I have the same lunch tray, or a similar lunch tray that's burnt up, red tray, hole in it, signed by Bob Bondurant, former Formula One F1 champion. He just passed away a couple months ago.
That's cool.
He just
what a
passed
great
away
question by you.
Yeah. What a segue.
Yeah, you used to do the show.
Act like you've been here before.
All right, last thing on motorsports.
Last thing? Are we done?
On motorsports.
Oh.
I got rapid fire for you coming up.
Oh, please.
But on motorsports, you did mention Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, hero of mine.
Yep.
The Fast and Furious movies and drifting are synonymous with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that your sport likes, or is it something that they clown and kind of laugh at? Because I think when anyone thinks of drifting who's not into drifting, they think of Tokyo Drift. They think of Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Like, those movies in that franchise kind of made drifting these are so good, I can't stop, man.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
These are amazing.
This guy's an animal.
Yeah. And that's not even a straw. That's literally a candy cane. I don't know how he's sucking it down.
He's
sucking it through the...
Not going to work. Well, every good cocktail has equal parts bitter and sweet, and the sweet of this cocktail is the candy cane.
Yeah, who's bitter, who's sweet in this scenario?
Well, come on.
Here's the
Jared,
cocktail.
you don't even need to know.
Yeah.
Just,
bitter sweet. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You put chocolate in my peanut butter. You put peanut in my chocolate. We're peanut butter
bitter,
bros.
I'm bitter, and Hawk's a fucking idiot. So.
Fair enough. So
just kidding.
Is Fast and Furious good for your business, bad for your business, or are you guys? Do you not care about it?
No, great question. In regards to the Fast and Furious franchise, most successful movie franchise, surpassing Star Trek, all these things, all these accolades. I stopped watching after Tokyo Drift. Admittedly, what I call airplane conversations is, I fly a lot. Normally I fly about 160,000 miles a year.
Wow.
I get, this year, even during COVID, domestically I flew about 106,000 miles, 110,000 miles.
Wow.
So I get upgraded. So I sit next to some executives and some other people of interest. And basically, got a couple Woodfords in me. I was like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And I wow, that's odd. Jared, you spoke to somebody on a plane. I get off the plane. I'm like, let's go. Let's get in that stove and go to another production thing. Fast and Furious is an easy reference.
Yeah.
So when I say, I announce car races. Oh, NASCAR? That's always the first knee jerk. So no, I announce another motorsport. Have you ever heard of drifting? They say, and that's an open-ended question. So they'll say Formula Drift if they really know. It's very rare. It's like a 5 percentile. They're like, drifting, I've seen that, that's that Ken Block guy. No, Jim Conn, that's that video. Cool. And then they're like, or the knee-jerk, most common answer is, Tokyo Drift. I said, yep, but not at all. So it's a good unit of measure in regards to quickly snuff it out and then educate somebody, and then I'll pull up videos and say, this is competitive drifting. Mm-hmm. It's based on 3 criteria: line, angle, style. Line, are you hitting necessary clipping points? Angle, are you getting the car as sideways as possible, getting as gangster as possible? And then, style's that X factor. So all those things combined, that's competitive drifting. So Fast and Furious is a complement to our motorsport. And I'd also say that I grew up doing what they essentially documented in the film. So growing up in San Diego, ripping around, running away from cops.
Yeah.
Sorry, mom and dad, but they fucking know that. It's all good.
What a life.
So, everybody's got their hot rod. Mine was a 96 Civic hatchback. Everybody's got their version. Is it 2-lane blacktop? Is it, American Graffiti? And then now...
Grease, maybe, right?
Right, Grease.
Drag racing in the LA River.
Well, and then here's my 7-year-old playing Need for Speed. Or I did voiceover for Need for Speed Pro Street.
Really?
So, yeah.
Cool.
So the other a while ago, we had to buy a car because my wife switched companies. My wife works in the industry too, and we had to get a car because she had to surrender her company car. And we fly out to Arizona. This guy picks us up at the airport, and he says, and he knew I announced drifting. And I said, hey man, did you play Need for Speed Pro Street? He said, yeah. I said, all right, cool. Well, Ryan Cooper's been killing it all day, and he goes, holy shit! I was Big J in this game, Need for Speed Pro Street. So, and I've signed copies of the thing because I'm like the opening commentator for the opening portion of your career. Yeah. So I guide you through the game. Mm-hmm. So all that to say is you have your influences from different areas. And your, like I said, your automotive experience is exclusive to you.
Yes.
And that's just like golf. Great golf conversation, guys. Yeah. I always love going on podcasts and never talk about what we were intended to do, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Talk about golf when we're actually swinging the club.
My automotive experience comes down to this. Going to Pomona to watch Cruz Pedregon do funny car racing, which was amazing.
Yep.
Watching every Fast and Furious up to number 7 and then boycotting afterwards. Because if you're going to sell me on family and then Brian drives off into the distance and you keep going without him, fuck you guys for the lies. No longer my family.
Wow.
Okay, so it ends at 7 for me. And Drive to Survive.
Okay.
And then I watched the Niki Lauda movie on Netflix and all that stuff. Yeah, which was really cool.
Okay.
A lot of cool stories. You mentioned like how some people get it and don't get it. I would imagine that your fans are kind of like wrestling fans, where it's like if they're into it, they know it more than anyone. And if you're not on their level, you get exposed real quick. Like when I try to talk about surfing with Ryan, like I watched this documentary called The 100-Foot Wave on HBO, and I'm like, I'm going to come in tomorrow and I'm going to say stuff like barreled and...
boop, boop. Did he boop your nose when he did it?
Yeah, no,
did we just become best friends? Can we go to the mountaintop?
He said something about the channel. Like, they paddled to the safe zone. I was like, what the fuck is the safe zone, dude?
Yeah. And then I name dropped some areas in Hawaii and all that stuff. But it was just for fun, just to piss him off. You could probably spot a real fan and a fake fan right away, right?
Yeah, it's not... You know what? I'm so... As humble as possible, I try to be as inclusive as possible. Mm-hmm. So, because I'll meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
And I'm just part of the equation, man. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just my bag. That's my role. Actions speak louder than words. I just put an exclamation point on it. I'm a presenter. I'm an announcer. I'm a host, ambassador, all those things that you said on the front of the show. But at the end of the day, I'm a fan as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'll meet people where they're at, and usually, hey, could you sign this? I said, I'm not a driver, right? They're like, yeah, you're the announcer. Okay, cool. I just want to qualify.
Sweet.
And then I say, who's your favorite driver? Majority of the time, they said, I don't know. I just like the sport.
Oh.
And that to me means that they're there for the whole show.
Yeah.
And good competition creates a good show.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, you're elevating everybody. You're elevating the sport, which is a niche sport.
Yeah, that's where the real money's at.
Right?
Because
Isn't that beautiful?
Tracking to that, average person.
And that's beautiful, as opposed to like all those dollar streams. Here's the PPI, right? That's going towards golf and all that stuff. Like I feel like I'm hosting right now, but right. So like here's this popularity thing that goes forward, and that's elevating particular players that are doing particular things. But here's most successful reef sandal. What's his name? The bottle opener on the bottom of it.
Oh yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
Shane, right? No, what's his name?
Mick Fanning.
Mick Fanning.
Yeah.
Mick Fanning, most successful freaking sandal sales of all time.
Punched a shark in the face.
Punched a shark, dude. He had it coming.
Yeah.
That piece of shit shark.
Yeah.
He had that glossed over, no pupil having.
Yeah.
Boom. Mick Fanning. Thank you, Mick Fanning. He's good, and he made those sandals when he broke his leg, and that's why he opened that thing up. Yeah. He created a revenue stream. I like to try to elevate everybody.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's
cool. Totally.
So
ready for some rapid fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready for another cigar and more drinks too.
Well, we're gonna do that as soon as the cameras are off as well. So the party's just starting. Stadium Links, Angel Stadium. You went there. This is where they turn a baseball field into a kind of par 3.
It's called Top Golf.
Top Golf. Never been myself. I was turned off by how expensive it was, and then they sell it a lot better than it looks when people post it on Instagram. Your thoughts on Stadium Links? You played golf at Angel Stadium.
Great. You absolutely encapsulated what my thoughts were. I was hot on the button to purchase, but they do not give a good job of describing what the experience is going to be. I was like, $85, little hard ask, passed. And then I had a homie, Ezekiel of Auto Conduct. He says, hey man, do you want to come out to Stadium Links 2 o'clock? My wife was traveling back from a trade show. I said, you know what, how much does it cost? He says, I got you. I said, I'll see you there. So us, Ezekiel and I and 4 others, so a group of 6 of us, had a blast. Mm-hmm. I absolutely encourage you to do Stadium Links. It was really fun. You get 2 balls, pitching mats, you hit on the course, but you meander around the around the baseball stadium. I saw prior to COVID doing it at Petco Park. I love Petco. Growing up going to Jack Murphy Stadium with my grandpa, my grandma, who I spoke about. I would say go to a park that you're emphatic about, and it's probably a better experience. Angel Stadium, cool. My buddy Joey Madden, shout out to Joey. His dad, Joe Madden, is the current general manager of the Angels. Sent him a photo. I said, hey man, like blah blah blah, like check this out.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah,
that's cool. Joe Madden is actually the manager in the dugout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's general manager. Yep.
Okay.
Is that the Joe Madden ring? Is Joe calling us right now?
I just heard. Yeah.
Joe.
Thanks, Nick, for turning that down. Nick, who was that? Did it say wife on it? Okay, we're good to go.
You owe a 6-pack.
Are you?
Whenever the ring goes off and you're in the booth.
I think it's the second time your phone hasn't been on silent.
No, I know it's bad form.
I remember my first podcast.
Yeah.
Nice ring too. That was what
That's
did you
just
pay
a
for that
standard one.
ringtone?
No. And while we continue the rapid fire, how do you know Killer Mike?
Killer Mike is a homie I met through my buddy Daryl Mapp in Atlanta. We met through him, and he says, "I think you guys would hit it off, get along, hit it along." And he's a big car guy. I'm a big car guy. We're both big dudes, and just got linked up with him. And he's a sweetheart, man. And Killer Mike is a beautiful human being.
Yes.
And I got a great compliment from my buddy Ryan Turk, his now wife, which I officiated their wedding. Shannon says, "You're the white Killer Mike." I'm like, I will take that all the way home, which is really great.
Yeah.
I thought LP was the white Killer Mike, but it's right here.
No, it's right here in front of you.
Yes.
I'm like the loving Jarod. He's the Killer Mike.
RTJ4 best rap record, I think, in probably the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe Kendrick's Damn is up there too, but unbelievable, especially for the time that it came out.
It's timely, it's good, it's modern, but it feels reminiscent. It has like a little, it has that Outkast vibe to it, all this stuff. And Killer Mike has got a solo album coming out next year, so it's supposed to come out this year, 2021. I went to Stankonia. It was dope. I'll share with you a cool experience. Was out there for Formula Drift. Long story short, in the studios, hanging with Mike. He's playing me some tracks from his solo album, which is coming up. He's teased it quite a bit. And then T.I. rolls in, and they drop this, they do this, they that, hear this. Like, it's great. So stay tuned. Killer Mike.
That's cool.
Killer Mike's a beautiful human being.
Yeah,
Arizona or California?
California. I don't know. Honestly, the whole running joke is that, we lived in... I'm a California kid. Love it. Have Arizona on my arm. My boys were born there. It's a tough question. Arizona and where we lived previously was called Gilbert, Arizona. It's very, very whitewashed, stucco and Starbucks. It's Mormons and Camrys, and that's all good. Mormons are great neighbors. Yeah. It's safe. It's all good. Now living in Southern California, it's chaotic. But, it's chaotic, it's crazy, it's all mine. Live, laugh, love. I always say my next tattoo is going to be YOLO. YOLLLO. You only live, laugh, love once. I'm driving here. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? It's all good, man. Mm-hmm. Like, the big thing for me is just grace and humility. Mm-hmm. Use your turn signals. Mm-hmm. Say thank you. Mm-hmm. Open doors for people. Totally. It's not about where you're at, it's where you're at. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's my place of being. If it's California, Arizona, just be present.
Mm. And we'll end on this. All three of us can answer this question, but we'll start with you, Jarod. Top 3 Christmas movies.
Ooh. I heard you say Elf. You love it. Mm-hmm. Christmas Story. Great one. I'm gonna go deep cut. You ready for this? Yeah. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Whoa.
Jeez, it's so deep. I have no idea what you're talking about. That was
Look up that one.
Yeah. So those are the top 3.
It's really tough. I mean, just gun to head. That's.
I've realized since watching them as of late more frequently because it's the time of year. Man, there's a lot of good Christmas movies.
There are a lot of good ones. That's what makes the top 3 so difficult.
One pops up and you're like, fuck, this movie's great.
So
did you watch the new 8-bit one?
Yes, last night.
Yeah.
Last night.
I didn't see it.
Amazing.
He would love it, huh?
Yeah. I cried at the end.
Don't start.
God, fuck yourself.
You're well, guess what? He's not gonna he's gonna watch it
now
and FaceTime you the whole time, showing you he's not gonna cry, but 100% he'll cry.
I'm glad you brought it up.
So my favorite show, just to give you guys because again, I feel like your show and your whole brand and your ethos is about paying homage to a bygone era. My favorite show is CBS News Sunday Morning.
Oh yeah.
And I have the sun tattooed right here.
Yeah.
So
that's old school.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where I live. That's my spot.
Yeah,
when you can wake up and drink a cup of coffee and have a good cry in the AM, you know it's gonna start.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all that being said,
that's cool.
Don't feel bad if you're gonna cry at 8-bit with
I'll try my hardest.
NPH, dude. NPH.
Yeah,
NPH wouldn't do that. I mean, you've seen Harold and Kumar, right?
Yeah. But Neil Patrick Harris is having a great post-career after Doogie Howser. This was a fantastic movie for him.
Post-career.
He's doing great.
Doogie Howser.
But he runs the Magic House in Hollywood, right?
Does he really?
Yeah, he's a huge magician fan, and he runs the whole, they call it the Magic Mansion in Hollywood, and he is, the president of it.
That's a tough ticket to get. My friend got one, invited me. I said yes, then last minute I had to cancel, and he was so mad at me for
be pissed.
long. And I was like, what's the big deal? And then I found out what the big deal was. But yeah,
yours. Your favorite?
Top 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in order, number 1 is going to be Die Hard. Number 2 is going to be A Christmas Story, and number 3 is going to be Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Yikes! Ouch! Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Oh god.
It's a fantastic film. I would highly recommend it. We posted our top 3 on Instagram the other day, and every comment back to us was
That is
people
not a
wanting-
Christmas movie.
Well, there was that, but I don't entertain that. It's definitely a Christmas movie. He puts on a Santa hat, and he also they're at a Christmas party. And so, also, Jingle All the Way, though, people are very upset that that's on
Damn,
the list.
you look so good.
Thank you.
He looks great.
What a pro.
You look great as well.
Players play.
Okay, so that's my top 3, and your top 3, Ryan, to finish it off.
Christmas Story. Just watched it again 2 nights ago. It's just legendary. I remembered one of the parts that I love the most is when Ralphie beats up the bully.
Oh, yeah.
And gets him to cry, and his mom comes and saves him. What an awesome
Yes.
thing. And obviously the leg lamp right here.
Fragile.
And then,
Must be Italian.
yeah. And then I think almost a tie for first is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Fact.
When he gets on the sled after he silicones it, I know it's coming every time.
Yeah.
And just the how he comes out, I laugh so hard at that
Surf's
scene.
up.
Just
Check you later.
it's just
What's he say?
insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the third one is I can't remember exactly how you do the name, but it's the old school mechanical reindeer.
Oh, yeah, the stop motion 1964
Oh, yeah.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Rudolph.
Reindeer.
Because I remember as a kid that would come on, and I was always just so enamored with the robotics of how the characters moved.
Yeah.
That I don't remember what the fuck was going on, but I was looking at it like I was on shrooms as a kid, just going
Wow.
"What is that? That is different. That is not it's not a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's not the Muppets.
Yep.
What am I looking at right here? It's almost like an old
Was it Burl Ives? Burl Ives does all the voices, right? So he just
Yeah.
he's Frosty in the beginning,
Totally.
and that's good. Oh, we're doing meltdowns?
Well, I want to top off because Ryan and I need to cheers you right
Yes,
here
please.
at the
Wow,
end.
look at that, Hawk. Just a little
Dude, melt
Johnny
me down,
Black
bro.
on the old peppermint patty, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for making the long drive. Thanks for
No,
coming to hang
dude,
out.
long drive. What? You're not gonna help me out, bro?
Hey, before we get out of here,
just begun.
I'll pour my own.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted
Thanks,
more.
Ryan.
I know you had that long drive. Real quick, before we do get out of here, you have an Instagram account that is so worth following. Can you please plug it because it's one of the
Pretty sweet.
most entertaining and fantastic Instagram accounts. Go ahead.
Thank you.
At Grinder.
Yes.
Swipe away. Just swipe away until you find something you like.
Yeah.
Jarod DeAnda. You spell my name Jarod. Last name is DE, capital A-N-D-A. And I hate my name. That's why I named my kids Parker and Tyson. If you fuck it up, that's on you.
Yeah,
so that's why. But yeah,
Rewind.
Jarod DeAnda. You can find me announcing Formula Drift. Come on out. Nitro Rallycross. Again, watch Hot Wheels Legends, Harley Davidson, Snap-on Tools, all the things. And of course, we didn't talk about golf at all, and I'm kind of bummed.
Great.
But guess what? I need
did
to
a
come
little
back
bit.
again.
Yes.
We did a little bit.
You
Can we do
Come back next week. We're doing a live show.
Yeah.
Can we do a rogue episode at my house?
Yeah. Nick wants to go.
I would love
Nick's
to.
coming out.
Yeah.
We're gonna play golf at my club. We're gonna shoot an
Let's do
episode
it.
at my house.
That would be the best.
Signed, sealed,
Merry
delivered.
Christmas.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas. Cheers
Mele
to the
Kaliki
fellowship.
Maka.
Yeah, Mele Kaliki Maka and Feliz Navidad.